Hello everyone, welcome to the last set of the round of 8 from the first Flatline tournament. Strossus is setting his rally point as the Terran player on the east side of Metalopolis, and Bane going to be our other player, randoming Zerg on the west side. So cross-positional here on Metalopolis. We do have Bane's Overlord moving out. Strossus, not knowing what his opponent is, and for his future knowledge, will be playing a Zerg. Might want to think about doing a little bit of wall-in action, which I'm sure we'll see anyway. Bane, though, free to do a lot. He can early expand. He can go for a speedling build, gas before pool around 14-13. Very, very potent. But Bane going to be scouting over here with his Overlord, and we do see that a supply depot going up for Strossus will be placed at the choke, at the ramp. And we'll see that he is, in fact, working toward a wall-off. Now, Strossus sending his rally point to the middle of the minerals. One of the further patches, what you typically want to do is make sure that these slightly closer patches are maxed out first, so that you don't have to worry about not being efficient when you mine. Some people may have heard about the mineral gathering trick, and that is after 3, 1, 2, 3, you hit C, and you actually get your minerals just a slight touch faster. Now, the SCV and the Overlord meet up, and as soon as Strossus sees that his opponent is Zerg, we'll be going off to scout in that direction. So, meanwhile, we do have Bane getting his extractor up just barely before his spawning pool. Not sure if this was designed or not, but we do have the spawning pool about to pop, and we will see that he is making his queen straight away and saving up for some Zerglings. Meanwhile, it looks like Strossus didn't, in fact, send his SCV to scout his opponent, instead moving back to mine, which is interesting enough. But right now, Strossus going to be saving up maybe for an orbital after this. We do have a tech lab going down, so there's the movement of the barracks. And now he's going to finish this wall off, maybe. I'm not sure if that's going to be tight. It looks like there's a little bit of space here and there, but hopefully it'll prove for Strossus to be worthwhile. Getting up there in supply needs, though, to start making this an orbital, instead throwing down a second Rax. And we do have some Zerglings out. Speed not yet on the way. And yeah, we're gonna wait for the lag here. I will restart after I cast this game and see what the issue is, but we do have a little bit of lag, and I'm not sure what the problem is, because before I start recording I have over 100 frames per second. I am on medium graphics, and now I'm sliced all the way down to 16. So something's wrong with Fraps, or something's wrong with my computer in general. But there's the orbital. First Marine is out, and again, that just looks so tenuous. This should be tight, because it usually is. But it just looks like there's so much space, and we will see that the Zerglings are making their way across the map. Looks like they poked into the wrong area because Bane didn't scout quite correctly. But we do see Banelings and more Zerglings on the way. We do not, I believe, we do have speed about halfway done. And now a third supply depot going down. This could be bad for Strossus if Bane is able to break in there with a lot of Zerglings and Banelings, which will actually be able to probably reach both on, if he gets it in this little crease here, he might be able to affect all the wall right there, and that would be extraordinarily bad. We do have a poke up with some Zerglings. The Marine will be able to shoo them away. Looks like he's going to be working on this tech lab, but instead decides to move out. And we do have some Marauders being trained. Strossus maybe not thinking, because Marauders are not the best thing to use against Zerglings, but they will counter Banelings pretty nicely, as it does take about 7 of them to bring down one Marauder. But of course, Marauders tend to group up, and splash damage will make them more effective. But right now, Bane continuing within basically all in Baneling, Zergling kind of rush area. But we do see a third Rax on the way, still off of 1 gas, don't need a lot of gas, and we do see, they were able to get there, and there are 3 supply. He's vastly under supply, and we do have some more Zerglings and a couple more Banelings, but the Banelings aren't going to do all that much. They just kind of explode on his opponent. But now he doesn't have any reinforcements here across the map quite yet, and that could have been very, very powerful. We do see another Rax being built. Now, you could have just canceled one of the Marines since you are supply blocked and floated it over there. That way you have a lot more hit points and you don't risk something going down, and this is very scary as well. He's still under supply, getting as many supply depots as he can, but now Bane kind of in a gray zone. He can't, I don't think, I expect this to work again unless he fully commits, especially after he sees this barracks there. We do see a second gas going down. Doesn't really need it, as he does have a ton of gas, and Marauders are very, very cheap, unless he's trying for combat shield, which will be very helpful against that. But we do have some Zerglings moving across the map, continual training of units, as he did get out of supply blockage, and another mule probably set to move down. And we do see that he moved up and around, and is probably just going to defiantly make Banelings right in front of his opponent's base, but we do see that he's still off of one gas, going now into layer tech, and the economic advantage actually still in the Terran's favor, though he did have to spend a fair amount of minerals and some energy from his orbital to get his supply back in order. Unit producing structures-wise, I believe that edge goes to Strossus, as he does have 4 racks and now a factory, whereas Bane, unfortunately, is still working off of only one base. Very, very tough for a Zerg to compete with a Terran off of one base. Typically, you want to be a base up. I would say you want to be 2.5, 3 bases up. But that's because I suck against Terran, as we saw earlier in this tournament. Especially when I don't scout. And Bane is kind of falling into that position right now, as there's a tech lab going up in siege tanks before the nerf. And now Starport going up too, so we could see some Banshees coming out, which would be absolutely detrimental to Bane at this point. I believe he only has 1 queen. He's getting an expansion right now. Speedling's moving up. Big old bio ball scaring him away, and that is a lot of Marauders. Unit-wise, we do see that you just have 9 Marauders and 6 Marines, easily able to take out this amount of Zerglings and Banelings. So Bane, now working off 2 gas, seeing that his opponent now is just starting his expansion, or perhaps 3rd. He still doesn't know if there's anything else on the map, but he will be starting to move out, lifting off this racks to get out, of course. We'll see if he buttons up his back door, or his front door, rather, as he leaves. It looks like he's going to push, and these Banelings could be caught off guard. Hopefully that's not the case for Bane. For Siege Tank and Siege Tech coming out for Strossus now, we do have that push. Very, very smart to have your Marauders in front, since Bane did show Banelings. I wonder if that is intentional or not. We do have the hatchery nearly done, but Bane still... actually, he pulled into the lead, but that's not going to be good enough. Hydra's now kind of iffy. This lone OV will be taken out if... Oh, looks like he turns around before before seeing that Overlord again. That's kind of interesting now. An Overlord trying to spot at the bottom. These Zerglings and Banelings still not enough. He does have a whole heaping shitload of more Zerglings coming out though. But it looks like Strossus in no man's land with all of his forces. I'm not sure if it was a misclick or what, but he has landed his barracks, much to his credit, and is continuing to use his mules. Should be throwing down... Ooh, medevacs. Okay. So it looks like we're going to be waiting for those. Unfortunately, Marines getting ahead of the Marauders. The Zerglings will spot the bio ball, and we do have 1 SCV. Looks like he wanted to do a sneaky expansion away from his opponent, but that could be detrimental. And we do see the Zergling going back to the watchtower. Does see this bio ball, and we see that Bane should be working towards some defense. We should see some Hydras on the way. We have about 4 or 5. Need a creep highway there, Bane, to connect the bases and make this a little bit easier to defend with your slow Hydras. We don't see Hydra range on the way. Was that already... No, he doesn't have it quite yet. Still needs to get more gas to support the Hydras he does have. But now, as he moves out across the base, we do see that he did orbital, and now these Marauders, looks like he's forming up quite nicely. Unfortunately, getting these 3 Marauders split, and it looks like he's... Oh, get those Banelings in front. Right-click, no! Oh my, that was huge. Those Marauders, and they do have stim, by the way. I just wanted to let you know. They do have stim, and he says, fuck my life, and that's a very apt thing to say, and I apologize for the curse, but gotta let everybody know what that means. And looks like that Overlord, or one of the Overlords, good coverage for these overlords from Bane, able to spot this expansion going up and absolutely end it. So cancel from Strossus, keeping him on one base. He does have a couple of tanks out and getting some Banshees, it looks like, as well as more medevacs. He only has he has 3 out. Unfortunately, that didn't go with his bio ball. And now Bane happily mining off 2 bases. We do see that a couple of creep tumors are spread. What I would love to see is another one spread this way, and then an overlord popping over, spreading creep, and allowing that to go a little bit faster. Hellions would be extraordinarily good at this point with pre-igniter because all these units here are light. But instead, we do see a Banshee, okay, and a fusion core. So, unfortunately, because of the fact that Bane does have Hydras out on the field, I don't think a BC is quite the answer he's looking for. And we do see that. Oh, nice, Bane. Oh, nice, yes. But unfortunately, you have to connect these 2 bases for it to be effective. But we do see that you are hopping your creep tumors down to try and spread the creep all over the map, taking your 3rd. Very, very smart. Opponent is still on 1 base. Looks like he's gearing up to take out another base, but take on another base. But unfortunately, his army is vastly small because he lost so much with that right-click attack. Bane doing a good job of keeping his units in a nice position to flank him as he came in. Unfortunately, he went straight around that and ended up dying quite easily. But now, Hydra's moving back across the map. We do have these medevacs in vision of the Overlord? Barely. And he gets suspicious, sending Zerglings all around the map, making sure that his opponent hasn't quite taken an expansion. It looks like he's going to the one that the Zerglings just got done. Nope. He beats a hasty retreat towards his natural. And we should see more siege tanks on the way to kind of protect this. One up here, one right by the ramp, and then probably 1 or 2 over here would be a nice labyrinth-like... Ooh, these medevacs beat a hasty retreat, and I kind of lost my thought, so I will just not complete it and hope no one noticed. We do have a bunch of Hydras, some Speedlings left, kind of relic of the past, moving on to better and bigger things. Evo Chamber coming down, Spire out. No Mute is coming, but I think they're there just in case. And we do see that the Banshees were kind of forgotten about, and this fusion core not really doing anything. It's a fairly expensive building. Let's see, how much do you cost? I believe it 150, 150. I thought it was much more expensive. Fleet Beacon for Toss is like 300, 200. Ultra Den is like out of this world, and we do have a very nice wall. This helps prevent a ton of Zergling aggression, but needs to make sure that he sends his rally points behind him. Now we do have 8 Mutalisks on the way. That's huge. Evo Chambers down. I would love to see Infestor Pit so we can start to see Tier 3. Unfortunately, Bane not really doing too much with his expansion, just now getting it all up and operational. Creep Tumor kind of stalled out here. We do have more ready for... Oh, Vikings getting taken out, nice. But now that warns his opponent that mutas are in there. Creep Tumors continue to grow across the map, and that only helps Bane. You look at how much of the map he sees versus how much of the map that his opponent sees. Kind of a big issue. Two Vikings are out here, but these Flight of Mutalisks will be heading straight into a whole bunch of Marines, now with medevac support, so they're pretty much unkillable. As far as these mutas are concerned, look, they take out some of their future aggression out on this Minx statue. And he's just going to be dancing around, trying to pop in. Unfortunately, if Strossus was quick on the draw, he'd stim and be able to do a ton of damage. But just trying to move around, do some harassment. Unfortunately, I thought that was an eBay. It's an armory. And that's the only thing going on. And look at this. Taking out a Banshee. Very, very nice. Should take out this reactor. Marines getting kind of walled in and blocked by their own units. And this would be the opportune time to take in a huge Speedling run by, just because you know that half of his army is out of position. There's the eBay. 2 Banshees still out, and now these Marines nearly going to be healed up by the time they even return. But now we do see that Muta's continuing to harass,